You know, animation is a pretty time-consuming medium, right? Whether we're talking frame by frame, puppet animation, or even CGI. You have to make a bunch of drawings, a bunch of joints, build a wireframe, whatever. It takes a while. But believe it or not, there are ways of cheating animation for better results. That is to say, there's a certain extent of things you can get away with and still wind up with smooth animation. As a matter of fact, if you try to do more than these, you could end up making animation worse. Now, on the website Animator Island, I've been working with about halfway through a collection of practice animations. And I'm going to go through a few now to show you some ways to cheat at animation. And by the way, this is also based off of experience doing commission work. This saved my life just getting through these commissions on time. This was on Upwork. And mind you, studios have been cheating in animation for a long time with animating on twos or using cycles or just animating part of a body, leaving everything else static. More on that soon enough. So, on the latest exercise I'm going through is an animation called lifting something with determination. I believe it's number 25 or something out of 50. Now, I may be cheating a little more than usual because usually with animation, first you want to make a storyboard, a sort of comic of sorts, and then start animating separately. But I'm going to start by making essentially the roughest rough animation, which doubles as a storyboard and an animatic. Animatic is like just the key poses, the key frames. But even then they may make something separately. No, I try to save time by doing it all at once. So, first off, let's create a layer for our lifter rough, and let's also make a layer for whatever he's lifting. Let's say large boulder. Now this would pretty much be the same whether or not you'd be using my favorite, Toon Boom, or Adobe Animate. Now for doing rough animation like this, you gotta use the loosest brush pencil just to be able to do whatever the heck you want. That is, turn down smoothing to 0. And we just start by creating our guy's little obstacle. And by the way, the animation 12 principles are going to be our friends here. One of which being staging. Let's just place this boulder in such a way that just takes up a very nice and solid half of the screen. And now let's start with our guy. Using this video reference I made ages ago, and for this early stage, just spend seconds drawing everything. Just these very loose and loopy drawings. Just get his legs there. Move to eraser, just erase some excess lines for clarity. To me, the most important thing is having a body and an expression. Mind you, this would go a lot better if I had already made a character design beforehand, just a turnaround. I'm gonna turn. Now the first thing I'm gonna do is the keyframes of just breathing in and out in anger. He really wants to lose this really wants to lift this boulder. He really hates this boulder. Now, normally, might want to not have onion skinning on, not to see the other frames. In fact, you know what? Just gonna flip back and forth. This is one thing I've learned from Tonico Pantoja, essentially one of my unofficial mentors. We do still want this to be artistic. It's all about this looking good. Don't have to be entirely accurate. It just has to look consistent. Just flip back and forth. Before we create a cycle, actually, let's try and work out the timing. Just stretch these here. Oh yes, I forgot one thing. In between a motion, especially in a natural motion from a living thing, there should be a breakdown in the middle. Just have something, just have a thing, a position in between the two positions. Now, besides the 12 principles of animation, here is something that saved me a lot of time. Now, if you want an animation to move more slowly, you gotta add more frames, right? Not exactly. If two frames are so close together, it comes to a point where they might as well be the same frame. Now, seeing as I have 4 frames making up this motion here, I could just make 2 drawings in the middle but instead, what I'm going to do is just draw a single frame in between that last 2 frames of film. Now for in-betweens, this is where you want to be using the onion skin. And every living thing, almost everything that moves, doesn't just move automatically. It starts from slow and goes to fast. So in between these 2 positions, this one frame is going to be close to the original. I adjusted the timing, so now this one in-between frame is lasting 2 frames. It seems that this has become less of a breakdown and more of an in-between. I'll let it slide this time, but normally I should have maybe filled out detail in the keyframes before adding an in-between. You might not have noticed, but just that one frame in the middle was enough to count as a smooth motion, because there is just enough space in between the poses so that your eyes see movement.